Hi everyone. Today we're going to continue talking about mortgages. So we've taken out a mortgage for a large amount of money. How much do I have to pay per month? How much interest am I paying? Did I buy points? All of all that information to figure out how much are we paying and what are we paying and when are we paying. So we saw our $220,000 home that we want. We have to make a 20% down payment. So we paid $44,000 up front. We still owe $176,000. It's a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, so the rate always stays at 7%, which, if you know about mortgages right now, rates are 2.5%, 3%, but 7% is if the market is bad, then we have to pay a whole lot. So now we got to figure out, how do we pay off this $176,000? So there's a payment formula. So PMT is the monthly payment, and to calculate it, we need to know the loan amount, we need to know the rate, we need to know N, which is generally for a house, it's 12 because we pay monthly. And we need to know time in years. So there are 15-year term mortgages, 20-year. The most common one for new home buyers is 30 years. So a lot of these examples will have 30 years. And this will tell you how much you have to pay per month. And this is going to include the interest in it. So this payment, we're going to make every month for, in our example, 30 years. So we're going to do it for a $176,000 mortgage. We're going to figure out our monthly payment. So on my numerator, I need the 176,000 times the 7% divided by 12 payments per year. I'm going to divide that by the denominator, where I put 0.07 in for R, put 12 in for N, put 30 in for T. And here I got to be really careful when I'm using a calculator. I strongly recommend a graphing calculator so you can format it correctly. If not, do the whole numerator, get an answer, the whole denominator, get an answer, divide the two. If you need to round, I'd recommend rounding to 4 decimal places as you're doing it. And you get a monthly payment of $1,170.93 per month. So that you're paying a whole lot of times. You're paying that every month, every year. If you started now, you'd wind up in still paying this off until 2050. Now, one of the options you have is you can buy points. So what a point is if I pay 1% of the mortgage amount, they will reduce my loan, or they will reduce the rate. So they may say if you pay them 1 point, the bank will reduce the rate from 7.25% to 7%, a quarter of a percent, which is really good. So in order to buy that point, you'd need to pay 1% of 176,000, or you'd need to give the bank an extra $1,760. Now that's a lot of money up front, but it's going to save you thousands of dollars in the long run. So buying points is a great option if you can afford it now. Now to find the total cost of the loan, we need to figure out what all the payments we made were, plus the down payment, and then we can calculate the interest by figuring out how much extra we got to pay. So the total cost, we paid the monthly payment 12 times per year for 30 years, and we also made the down payment. So we paid $465,000. Now the interest we paid was this $465,000 for the house, minus the actual cost of the house. We paid $245,000 in interest. So that's a lot of interest because we took out a really big loan and we let it sit in compound growth for 30 years. So that's why all of these terms, when we sign the loan, we sign the mortgage, is very important to understand. Is, can we get the lowest rate possible? Can we pay the highest amount monthly to get the lowest interest rate and pay it off with very little total interest instead of paying for 2 houses at once? And that's how buying a home works.